What if the ground beneath your home suddenly cracked open? And smoke began to rise from deep below? What if the air smelled like sulfur, the walls grew hot, and invisible gas crept into your lungs while you slept? This isn't a horror movie. It's real. And it happened in a small Pennsylvania town called Centralia. Once home to over 1,000 people, Centralia now lies almost completely abandoned, because something beneath it has been burning since 1962. But what exactly is burning down there? And why? Can't anyone put it out? This is our weird world, where the strangest stories become reality. If you love these kinds of tales, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and hit the bell. This way you'll be notified whenever new content comes out, and you'll help this channel grow. Now back to the story. Centralia used to be an ordinary mining town. Built on rich coal deposits, it thrived in the early 1900s. Miners worked hard, families grew, and life followed a simple rhythm. Coal was king. But everything changed in May 1962. That year, the town decided to clean up its landfill before Memorial Day. The easiest way? Burn the trash. Firefighters lit the pile, expecting the flames to die quickly. But the fire found something they didn't see, a crack in the earth. That crack led straight into abandoned coal mines beneath the town, filled with highly flammable anthracite. And that's when the real fire began. They tried to contain it. They tried to smother it. But nothing worked. And the question became, what happens when a fire refuses to die? At first, life went on. People still walked the streets, went to work, raised their children. The fire was underground, out of sight. But then, the land began to change. Sidewalks cracked. Smoke poured from the soil. Vegetation wilted. In winter, patches of snow melted above warm ground. And in some homes, gas detectors started beeping at dangerous levels, warning of invisible threats. One gas in particular was terrifying: carbon monoxide. The town installed more detectors. People began sealing their basements. But nobody really knew how far the fire had spread, or how deep it had gone. Then, in 1981, the earth opened up. A 12-year-old boy named Todd Domboski was walking through his backyard. When the ground collapsed beneath him, he fell into a hole over 100 feet deep, full of hot steam and toxic gas. He survived, but barely. And people began to wonder, if this could happen without warning, who would be next? By the 1980s, Centralia was in crisis. Federal and state officials launched emergency investigations. Engineers drilled holes, mapped the fire, and measured underground temperatures. The results? Terrifying. The fire was moving in multiple directions. It could continue burning for centuries, fueled by vast coal reserves. And there was no safe way to stop it. In 1984, the US government offered residents buyouts. Over 1,000 people accepted. Their homes were torn down. Streets were closed. Businesses vanished. By 1990, fewer than 50 residents remained. And in 1992, the state took a final step. It seized the remaining properties through eminent domain and officially condemned the town. Even the zip code was revoked. Centralia was being erased from the map. But if Centralia was now gone, why do people still visit it today? Today, Centralia is quiet, but not exactly empty. The town's old grid of streets is still visible. But the houses? Gone. Only empty roads, overgrown sidewalks, and phantom driveways remain. It looks like a town that vanished overnight. The most famous spot? A crumbling stretch of Route 61, once covered in graffiti and known as Graffiti Highway. It became a cult landmark until the state buried it in 2020 to deter visitors. But people still come. They're drawn by curiosity, mystery, and fear. Because Centralia is still burning. Steam still seeps from the ground. The air still smells of fire. And somewhere below, the flames are still moving, inch by inch, consuming the earth. Experts say it could burn for another 250 years, maybe longer. So the question is, can a town that doesn't exist still haunt us? The story of Centralia didn't just disappear, it spread. In the early 2000s, creators of the Silent Hill video game and film adaptation discovered the haunting story of Centralia. They saw the cracked roads, the smoke, the desolation, and reimagined it as a world of supernatural terror. In the 2006 Silent Hill movie, the fictional town is cursed by an underground coal fire. It's always foggy, always empty, and full of terrifying secrets. Sound familiar? While Silent Hill adds ghosts and demons, the bones of the story, a town swallowed by fire, are entirely real. And in a way, Centralia's story continues every time someone plays that game, or watches that film, or stands quietly on its broken streets, waiting to hear if the ground will breathe. But even with all this attention, one question still lingers. How could something so small burn for so long? Centralia wasn't destroyed by war, by disease, or even by natural disaster. It was destroyed by fire, and by the failure to stop it before it was too late. It's a story about ignorance, delay, and unseen danger. But also about memory, because even as the flames still smolder, Centralia refuses to be forgotten. It teaches us that some disasters aren't loud. They don't explode. They creep. They smoke. And they burn just below the surface, waiting to be noticed. If you've made it this far, maybe you're the kind of person who finds these strange truths as fascinating as we do. So if you want more real, eerie, and unbelievable stories from around the world, subscribe to our weird world. There's a lot more waiting just beneath the surface.